Hi, my name is Sofia, and today I'll explain the portfolio we built for Andrea Jimenez, our client. She's 35 years old and recently received 1 million pesos and has a moderate risk profile. Our three main goals were a minimum 9% return, which is 200 basis points above the current TA of 7%, a bar no worse than minus 2.5% at a 95% confidence, and maximizing the Sharpe ratio. Before picking any stocks, we analyzed the macroeconomic context. Mexico had a slow GDP growth of just 0.56% in 2025, inflation around 4.59%, and global conflicts creating market uncertainty. Given all of this, we decided to structure the portfolio as 60% fixed income and 40% equities. The bonds give her stability and capital protection, while the equities push us above the 9% return target. For the equity portion, we did a full sector analysis. We looked at consumer staples, healthcare, agriculture, energy, and chemicals and mining. And we ended up focusing mainly on energy, agriculture, and chemicals and mining because these sectors offer the strongest growth potential while still being appropriate for a moderate risk investor. Energy has high demand globally, agriculture is stable and non-cyclical, and chemicals and mining, especially lithium and specialty chemicals, had incredibly strong growth trajectories. To pick the specific stocks within those sectors, we first ran a technical analysis using the MACD. We looked for bullish crossovers where the MACD line crosses above this signal line, which signals good upward momentum and a good entry point. We also made sure the RSI was between 30 and 70, avoiding anything overbought or oversold. And once the MACD gave us the green light on timing, we confirmed each stock with fundamental analysis, looking at ROE, debt to equity ratio, and growth trajectory. Some standouts were Sociedad Química y Minera with a 25% ROE, very low debt, and a 138% growth trajectory, and Brown-Forman with the highest ROE of the group at 28.57%. Stocks with weak fundamental like Medtronic, which had negative growth, ended up with very small weights. Once we had our stocks, we needed to find the optimal weights using the mean variance model to build the efficient frontier. We followed 3 steps. First, we minimized portfolio risk, finding the weights that produce the lowest possible variance. Then we maximized the expected return given that level of risk. And finally, we adjusted the p-value to 0.0025, which corresponds to our 95% confidence interval, so that our bar stayed exactly at minus 2.5%. We also made sure all weights summed to 100% with no short selling, and the result was 60% allocated to Actinver, our government bond, which generated a bond return of 2.98%, and 40% distributed across our equity picks, generating a stock return of 6.92%. Adding those together gives us a total portfolio return of 9.90%. So the final portfolio hit all 3 targets, and 9.90% total return is slightly beating our 9% goal, a bar of exactly minus 2.5%, and a Sharpe ratio of 0.16, confirming it's the optimal risk-adjusted portfolio for Andrea. The process was understanding the client, analyze the macro, pick strong sectors, use MACD for timing, confirm with fundamentals, and optimize the weights. Thank you.